What's up, dudes and dudes of the year? And my name's Scyushi, and we are back in more Trove, and we've got the Turkeytopia Friendsgiving Event, namely American Thanksgiving. Everybody else in the world celebrated at a different date. I'm Canadian. So the event itself, pretty cool. Also, I know what you're wondering. What is all this stuff in the top right? It's a mod. Just pay no mind to it. So the event itself has some new items. If you want to see everything from the Turkeytopia events, I've got other videos. I'll have a card in the top right that'll link to my previous year videos of Turkeytopia. Crazy how many of these we've actually gone through. The event itself is, I don't know, you can get it done in about an hour or less, but not if you're completely free to play, as I'll explain in a moment. It's actually atrocious. So the first part of the event is to meet with Chefsley. So you just go over and press E on this guy or interact with him, whatever, there you go. And then you'll get a Trovian Bolian, which is a specific quest item you'll see in a second. And that wants you to craft a Trobolian. Don't make the mistake that I did and spend a token getting one from this guy, because that would make too much sense. Instead, it wants you to craft it, and it costs all of these food items. And the problem is, I'm pretty confident that the devs are out of touch, because a lot of these food items are actually insanely expensive and require you to be max gardening. If you want to actually obtain any of these items, let's take Onionito. This was the one resource I was missing. Now you could say, oh, it's, you know, $6.50 each. That's not that bad. But nobody is selling them in a small quantity for some reason. Everyone on Trove is an idiot psychopath that sells it for like ridiculously high amounts when it is a small quantity. Like, this is like twice the price of this, but then you risk needing to spend 1 million flux or 300,000 flux or 200,000 flux just to get a small amount of Onionito that you need for this stupid quest line. And that's not it. That's just one of the foods. Now, I'll also show you guys, just as a, if it would ever load the menu, as a free to play, if you want to know how you end up actually getting this, I'm just going to briskly go over this quickly, just because I really want to hammer home this point of how bad this can be for free to play players, especially if you don't have your gardening maxed out, and more particularly if you don't have much flux. Because, as we'll come into our club world, I'm at the wrong location. We're going to hop down here, and we're going to go to the gardening crafting bench. And all the way up at the top is bun feed. So in order to get bun feed, you have to have a maxed out gardening. But in order to end up getting a bun feed in the first place, you have to have a tottertate, which is something that you craft from the previous tree, which requires an Onionito, which, you gotta craft from the previous tree. This kind of just keeps going. So it's a huge chain of events that's completely unnecessary, and why everyone hates gardening. And then on top of all of that, as if it wasn't just a, oh, craft this to craft this to craft this to craft this, the gardening itself requires you to wait in real life because it's time gated. And on top of that, you probably, if you're not into gardening, like 100% into it, you won't have the resources to water these plants and to get them to grow properly, because you'll be able to water them during specific moments in time. And then you gotta kind of wait for like the daily reset and stuff, and then make sure it doesn't wither, and you gotta keep watering it and keep watering it, and it's atrocious. Otherwise, don't worry, there's a whole bunch of cash shop items that can help you with that. Hint, hint, wink, wink, please buy it, right? Yeah, atrocious, hate it, absolutely stupid. So anyways, going back to the hub, get yourselves the Bolian. You have to craft it if you want to end up actually doing this event. So your best bet is to just grind flux, frankly speaking. And then for that reward, you'll end up getting a Friendsgiving token. Hey guys, this is Editor Scythe here. I just wanted to mention, I didn't even know this little merchant was here. Shoutouts to my buddy Spooky Pants. This guy actually sells some of the veggies, but I left the rest of the video relatively unchanged, just because, as you can see, these prices are astronomically bad. Like, at least it's here as an option, but even buying any of these from the player market is going to be way cheaper than this guy. So yeah, all of my points still stand. Next part of the quest is to clear 3-star dungeons for Garks. It wants you to complete 10 10 3-star dungeons. Now, there's a little bit of a trick you can do. You can go into shadow towers because each of the bosses will actually count as a 3-star dungeon boss. But otherwise, you can just do normal worlds, whatever. You just do 10 of those, and then you'll get mighty lasagna as a craftable recipe. And then it wants you to cook Garx's favorite food, which is incidentally going to end up being that lasagna, which is right here. And you can see costs more food. Yeah, this event's not worth it. So you craft the lasagna, you get our Friendsgiving token, then it wants you to clear dungeons in Sundered Uplands for the Cloud Layer and Ashen Waste delegates. As far as I can tell, you can just do any dungeons, whether it be on the top or the bottom of that biome in the Sundered Uplands. Just gotta complete 10 of those. And then you'll end up getting the burgers and broccoli. And then it wants you to cook the delegate's favorite food, which is gonna be, incidentally, the burger and broccoli, which you can see costs even more of these food items. Like, the thing is, these are all like individual, like singular items. So if somebody really wanted to take advantage of the market right now, I'm going to use my influence here to hopefully help some of you guys out. You can increase the price of the singular item that is required, but how about instead of selling like way too many of these, just sell the necessary amount for the event. I swear you'll sell them like that. They'll go so much faster and you'll still be able to make a bigger profit than selling it at the cheapest value. Or you could, you know, just be nice. But granted, I don't blame people for trying to capitalize on this because frankly speaking, we're talking about gardening and nobody wants to do it. Anyways, you cook that food, you get our Friendsgiving token, and then it wants you to clear dungeons in Treasure Isles. So your best bet is to end up just going into the ocean biome. Treasure Isles, if you don't know, is the biome that has like the mass turning, the steering wheel for the boat. I don't know what it's called. Complete 10 dungeons in there, and then you'll get Kraken soup. And then the Kraken soup, of course, more Onionito and so on and so forth, which is going to end up giving you a Friendsgiving token. And then once you clear dungeons in the Cursed Vale for the Witch, it just means clear Cursed Vale dungeons. Super easy, whatever. And then you get the canned tuna as a reward, which is going to end up being another food. The canned tuna is right here. I don't know why Cinnamon and Bun Feed turn into canned like fish. Like, it's just what? Anyways, then you'll get Lasagnalia. It's a lasagna ally. I'll show you guys it in a moment. And then the next part is to grab a bite of food. So this is actually something interesting. You can press E on all of these individual plates of food, and it actually gives you a huge ton of XP. And if it hasn't changed over previous years, I'm pretty sure this is affected by XP potions and XP day. So you can take advantage of that if you want to. If you're trying to level up a class or something, it's actually quite a bit of XP. You just consume one of those food items, you'll get a Friendsgiving coin again, and then it wants you to craft a Turkeytopia gateway. So if we end up going to the Turkeytopia table that's hidden right over here, sometimes like when I was trying to find it, a whole bunch of players were blocking it. But anyway, it wants you to craft this portal specifically. So there is also a Trotting Turkey portal. That's not the one that it wants. And instead you craft this one, and then it'll end up giving you another Friendsgiving token. And then it wants you to complete the Turkeytopia delve. You only have to complete the first floor. Unfortunately, I don't think I had footage of it. It doesn't really change much. It's just got some turkey enemies and like some corn at the end or something. Of course, every third boss is still going to end up being a Turkeytopia event themed boss, as far as I recall. But generally speaking, there's a much better way to farm the event stuff. So anyways, complete the delve, you'll get our Friendsgiving token, and then it wants you to complete the Friendsgiving dailies, which is going to end up being all of these freaks right over here. One of them's Bomber Royale, the other ones are just like completing dungeons, collecting items from the delves, and so on and so forth. There's quite a few of these dailies actually, but it only wants you to complete 3 of them to get another Friendsgiving token, and then that would end up being it for the event. Yay, you did it. Okay, now let's look at the new rewards before we end up talking about the way that you can kind of optimize this. So this is going to end up being the ally, which gives you 250 light, 15% max health, minus 15% incoming damage. Don't keep him near orange cats or buff men. I don't get it, but whatever. It's Lasagna Cubesley. At least he looks kind of suspicious. Like he's looking to the bottom left because he's praying to whatever god he worships that we don't eat him, because he does smell quite delicious. Oh no, all right. Sorry, I had to pull myself out of there. And then there's also going to end up being this new mount. Yay, look at this disgusting thing. It's a griffin mount as far as I know, but it only has the 2 legs, so it animates very, very cool and very weird. It might even be like a custom mount, just based on how it's animating. Yeah, it might actually be completely unique. Huh. You can end up getting this very rarely out of the Turkeytopia invaders, or maybe it's out of these boxes. It might be out of these plume boxes. Let's open these right here and see. We got quite a few things. Like we got a helmet, we got an Nurburger hat, cool. And then we got some weapon styles and so on and so forth, you know. Yeah. The way that you'll farm those more efficiently, as well as the Turkeytopia mystery boxes, is with the invaders. So for this week, we've got fast invasions, which the invaders normally take 8 minutes to spawn. Fast invasion doubles that, so I think they spawn every 4 minutes. Maybe they spawn like every 16 minutes, and fast invasion makes them spawn every 8 minutes. I'm not 100% sure, but if I can get a cornerstone for you guys, I want to show you guys how you can design a cornerstone that you can use to AFK farm. All right, there's a cornerstone right there. What the heck is the button there? The hunt. So what a lot of people will end up doing for their cornerstone is making it go all the way to skyblock, because that way there is no nearby enemies here on the ground. And so when the invaders spawn, based on the amount of players that are up there, the invaders will have to spawn on top of your cornerstone because there's nowhere else for them to spawn. And thus the other players nearby would end up attacking them and killing them. Or what I did was build one all the way down here to bedrock, which is not easier to do, honestly. It's a lot easier to just have one build up. So because it's a lot easier to have those blocks instead of mining this all the way down. But this should work just as well. It has for me in the past, because invaders, again, will have nowhere else to spawn. But Sky is usually better in my limited experience that I've seen with other players. But in any case, that's how you would set up your own AFK farm. And the main thing is you need to have like a lot of players to have a lot of invaders. And then the invaders will end up spawning all of those chests. While there are a bunch of different items that you can end up getting out of the event, including a tradable version of this turkey, I had to buy it just so that I would have it in time for today's video, but don't say I didn't do anything for you. The crazy thing is that, yeah, there's a tradable version of this. Otherwise, you can still craft it. If you absolutely don't want to end up buying it, it's pretty cheap to craft. It's just time gated. I think it's in the Turkeytopia box, right? Yeah, it's right over here. So you're just gonna need the Trovian Bolian, which again, you can just spend daily tokens or a crap ton of flux for. But then otherwise you need the Friendsgiving tokens. So again, this is something that you can end up getting pretty easily, albeit it's gonna be very time gated if you're trying to get it free to play. And if I open up the shop right here, you'll see this thing is selling for like 700K on PC. And if you bought each of these stupid things for 80K flux each, that's 1.6 mil. So it's definitely cheaper for your flux to just buy it off of the player market. And with all of that said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you watching, and I hope that you ended up enjoying today's video. Happy Thanksgiving, America. Please like the video. I would very much appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't, but I mean, we all know you already have. Why would you be watching a Trove video from this random guy? And then otherwise, if you want to buy some of the merch, you can. It's as cheap as I can make it right now on the new store.